Everyone, I'm now calling this meeting to order. Please stand with us. We'll be led in prayer by Alderman Gallagher. Please remain standing after that for the Pledge of Allegiance that will be led by Alderman at Large George Payne.
Heavenly Father, we come before you and we ask that you be with the families of the recent tornadoes, Lord, that happened throughout Mississippi and throughout the South. Lord, we pray that you would ease their burdens. Lord, let people commit to helping them, Lord. Lord, we ask you to be with us during this meeting as well, Lord. We ask you for wisdom. Your word says that if we ask for wisdom, we'll receive it. So, Lord, we ask you tonight to be with us, to watch over us, and to let you influence our every decision. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda this evening is the approval of minutes for the March 4, 2025 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoot, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
And that motion carries. Next on our agenda is a resolution to surplus a firearm for our retiring Southaven Police Officer Lance Weems.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Gallagher. Before we vote, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Officer Weems' career real quickly. He's going to be retiring on March 23rd. Officer Lance Weems has served as a law enforcement officer for 25 years. He spent the first 18 years of his career with the Horn Lake Police Department and then joined the Southaven Police Department in August 2017. He was assigned to the Patrol Division from 17 to 19 and then worked as a school resource officer from 19 to 24. He is currently serving in the Judicial Services Unit at the Southaven Municipal Court. Officer Weems' dedication, work ethic, and professionalism have contributed to the maintaining the strong reputation of the Southaven Police Department. We're happy to have had him on our team over the last 7 years, and we wish him all the best in his retirement. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
And that motion carries. Next on our agenda is the City of Southaven continuing disclosure. Our City Attorney, Nick Manley.
Yes, Mayor and Board, this continuing disclosure has previously been filed with the Securities Exchange Commission, so tonight need approval to accept it. It's required since we have issuing our outstanding debt issued by the city. It sets forth the requirements that are required to accept it and place on the minutes.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Wheeler. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is an affiliation agreement with Arkansas State University.
Yeah, this agreement with Arkansas State will authorize Arkansas State to provide an intern for the Parks Department. So tonight we need authorization to approve this agreement for Wes Brown to sign with Arkansas State to authorize them to provide a student to intern with our Parks Department in turf management.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoot, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoot.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is the rejection of bids for the Goodman Road Utilities Relocation Project.
Mayor, I think we missed the release for Sedgwick.
Okay, my fault. Okay, I did skip that one, my bad. Okay, so let's back up to item number 7. It's the approval of release with Sedgwick.
Yeah, this approval is just released with Sedgwick to authorize the city to receive the funds for an ambulance that was involved in a motor vehicle accident. in the amount of $8,423.04. It'll reimburse the city for the repairs. So tonight, need authorization for the mayor or Human Resource Director Melanie to sign tonight as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Now I'll jump back to item number 9, the rejection of bids for the Goodman Road Utilities Relocation Project. Mr. Dan Cordell.
Mayor, Board. Tonight, we did receive bids on the Goodman Road utility relocate. They were not satisfactory. We only received one. We're requesting a rejection, or recommending a rejection of those bids and authorization to re-advertise for that project.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Gallagher. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Next on our agenda is agreements with Comcast.
Yeah, these agreements with Comcast, there's 2 Comcast agreements tonight. The first is for Fire Station 5, and it's for an internet backup connection for the fire department. It's a one-time fee of $129.85 with a recurring fee of $159.85. And then the second one is for an Southaven Police Department East Precinct. It has the high availability and static IPs for the failover service at that station. So tonight, I need authorization for Michael Norris to sign both of these contracts with Comcast.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is a resolution for surplus equipment in the Southaven Fire Department.
Yeah, this resolution will just authorize surplus kitchen equipment from the Southaven Fire Department. Since we are surplusing it under 172525 Mississippi Code, it has to have a resolution approval. So tonight, just authorize this resolution for the surplus.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoot, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion, excuse me, that motion carries. Next on our agenda is a resolution for the Salute to Industry golf tournament to promote the DeSoto Economic Development Council's work in attracting new business to DeSoto County.
Same with what the mayor said in this resolution, authorizing that with the local and private legislation authorizing it along with Mississippi Code that authorizes the city to make that donation.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is a resolution for a budget amendment.
This budget amendment will surplus funds to the FY25 budget an amount of $53,979 from the FY24 budget. For the city police department, those funds are restricted from FY24 to FY25 for police use. So tonight, need the authorization to amend the FY25 budget with the surplus from FY24 for those restricted police funds.
I will make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is a resolution for sanitation assessment.
This resolution will just authorize an assessment and or a lien to be placed on those who have not paid the assessment or the sanitation assessment provided by the city or charged by the city.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoots.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is our planning agenda. Ms. Whitney Cook, Planning Director.
So our first item is actually not on the agenda. It is a simple Scribner's error that we need to address on the plats for the Gardens of Bell Point. Apparently, in the GIS system with the county as well as on the plat, the street name of Montvale, Montvale South, and Montvale North were misspelled, and it should have been Montavale South, North, and then Montavale Road. So there was an A missing. We had two options, and one was to tell everybody who had all their bills already addressed to that address that they would need to change with the post office and with their credit card companies and so on and so forth, or we could do a Scribner's error with the county and have the plat and the GIS name changed. And to do that, we have to have a formal approval of the board and in the board minutes. So we're asking for that change to be from Montvale, Montvale South, and Montvale North to Montavale, Montavale South, and Montavale North on the Gardens of Bell Point subdivision plat.
I'll make that motion. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Our second application is minor subdivision application, 4 acres on the east side of Elmore Road, north of Church Road. The 4 acres has an ingress egress that already exists and is recorded on the piece of property that is between it and Elmore Road. You'll see it highlighted there in orange. It's a 50-foot ingress egress, so there's access through that drive through this property. The only thing that we asked and the Planning Commission approved was to take that 50-foot ingress egress and extend it along the linear frontage, the frontage of the lot all the way to the east, so that the next adjacent parcel of property would have access as well, because you don't want to landlock them. They did agree to it. It is family-owned property, and it's just a father deeding over the portion to his son to build a house. So with that recommendation for the ingress egress, it was voted unanimously in favor of.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 1 as presented on the planning agenda tonight.
I'll second.
On item 1, we have a motion to approve by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoots.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Okay, and that motion carries.
Our second application is a request to rezone 9.97 acres of property from agricultural to PUD. This is going to be just north of Freeman Lane on the west side of Malone Road. Essentially what's being asked is to have a gated subdivision of a townhomes, approximately 56 townhomes associated with it, one large road that is a cove, proposed to be a public road, passive gate. Townhomes are set with a minimum square footage of 1,950 square feet. The covenants have been put in place for no short-term rental or long-term rental, so they all are required to be owner-occupied. It comes with the amenities of a gym, a clubhouse, a dog park, and just a walking trail in the back. It has walkable access to the park, which is actually adjacent to the tennis center to the south. It did have an access drive there for a secondary point in the event that something blocked the frontage and the emergency vehicles could not get in there. That was taken away by the fire marshal because these size townhomes have to have sprinkler systems in it, so they've removed that and added it into green space. When we did take it in front of the Planning Commission, we did have some citizens in the surrounding areas that wanted to voice some concerns, so what I did was write down some of the concerns that they had. I told them that I would present them here. I know that there's some in the audience. There's been a petition going around. So what I have here at this point in time, one was, will it be fenced off perimeter-wise? Will there be a fence? Will it be wood? Will it be brick? How are you going to screen it? Is there going to be trees there? Is it going to just be a fence? Who's going to maintain it? There were concerns about the price points. The applicant stated they'd be around $380 on average. Number of homes was addressed with 56. Passive gates and public versus private roads was addressed, so they would be public roads. We had concerns about traffic on Malone Road. drainage on Malone Road, noise issues, and basically the wildlife concern. Additional ones were property values, and the majority of them felt that was too many dwellings in one spot. Then we had another gentleman that wanted to address the parks area, the trees between his property and the parks. We did tell them that we would actually have parks go and see if they could clean up some of the underbrush there, so that was addressed. In the end, Planning Commission did vote to approve it unanimously, but wanted to point out these conditions and concerns that were presented by the citizens.
Mr. Mayor, due to the concern of the citizens and the new information we received just today, I'd like to table this and look into it more.
Okay, and I appreciate that. And before we ask for a second on that, I want to make sure everyone, I know we have people in the audience that are in attendance because they knew that this would be a hearing. So since we advertised that, we do have to go forward with a hearing. And so we want to make sure everybody understands. If anyone wants to speak, I'm going to ask for a motion for a hearing in just a minute. Since there was a little bit of confusion on when this hearing would be at a future meeting, it's my recommendation to this board that we do go forward with the table as Alderman Wheeler has motioned, and then we allow a second time to speak as well. I just want to make sure everybody knows that if you want to speak, you're going to have a chance to have your voice heard about this. We want to make sure we get this right. There's some other moving parts to this, and there's some things as well that I've expressed that I wasn't aware of exactly the location of this property. When I read the information from our planning director, and I received emails from many citizens as well, that's when I reached out and said, hey, let me study this a little more. So I wanted to actually look at an aerial map, know exactly how this impacts the residential areas around it, and also the parks. I mean, it's no secret that our tennis complex is there. We have a long-term vision for our park as well, and so there's going to be real estate needs for our park expansion in the future as well. So I want to be able to wrap my brain around the whole thing as well, and I want everybody to understand that my recommendation to the board is going to be something that I believe will address all the concerns that we're going to hear tonight, and that I've already heard. I've received many emails, and I have read all your emails, by the way, and responded to all of them. So anyway, we just need time to sit down and do this. I will say this, that I think it is a quality development. The developer has done a really good job with this. These are not, as you mentioned, these are not your typical townhomes. These are upscale, highly valued townhomes. In fact, some of these townhomes will be valued more than some of the residential homes that are around it. So this is not like some cheap development that's coming in. Y'all know that this board would not allow some cheap development to come in. The other thing is, and Whitney addressed that as well, and it's a very valid concern, is about the possible, townhomes typically turn into rental properties. So this is one where that would be in the covenants where there's no rental property here. These will be owner-occupied townhomes. The other thing I'll add, and then we'll move on with the hearing, is that it's important that our city understands that as our city grows and as our park and our recreational district grows, there's different types of housing that appeal to different citizens. So as we grow, everybody doesn't want a house with a yard. Everybody doesn't have two kids, and have a yard. Sometimes people, whether they be empty nesters or single adults, they're looking for a townhome. They want a place where, they have a home, little yard maintenance. They want to be near the parks. We've invested over $50 million in the last 10 years on park enhancements. So you'll see, like at Central Park, there's a development like this near Central Park. So people want to be near the park so they can live there and access the park amenities from a walkable aspect. So I think there's value in this development, but again, I think we need a little more time to look at it, talk to the developer. We need to hear the concerns of the neighboring residential properties, and I think we can come to a solution that's going to be, I'll say, agreeable to most. Okay, I know that we're never gonna please everybody, but I'll say that it will be agreeable to most. So with that being said, I wanted everyone to hear that before we do the hearing, to know that you've already been heard, you're going to be heard, we understand your concerns, but we're still going to go ahead with the hearing. So if we can, before we finish the motion to table it, I hear Alderman Wheeler's motion. let's go ahead and open the hearing first, and then we'll follow back up on your motion. So at this point, can I have a motion to open a public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Jerome, second by Alderman Hoots. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it. The hearing is now open. So at this point, if you would like to speak, please, one at a time, make your way forward to the podium. And please introduce yourself to us when you get here.
Cody Lambert. Hey Mayor, hey Board of Aldermen. My name is Cody Lambert. I am a neighboring of the development that they're proposing to build. When I first came to the meeting, I've never done anything like this, so I didn't know what to expect. So once I came in and we kind of realized what they were planning on building, it is in my backyard. When you walk out, I will see everything that they plan on doing. I also come to speak for the neighbor across the street from me who's been there for 55 years, and this will be in her backyard. She can't make it to the meeting, so I'm also speaking for members that cannot make it as well. But us as a community, we have a lot of concerns about this property. Yes, it might, turn out to be a great property value or a great asset to the parks, but in retrospect to that, we don't know what the future can hold and what they could bring in the future, so that's kind of what we're concerned about. Maybe not at the initially, the way that they look and the way that they present themselves, but in the future is kind of what we're looking for, because I plan on being here for a long time. I plan on it. So if things change, then I have to move out. That's what I have to do. Traffic was a huge concern. We've had a lot more traffic since Malone has actually opened up all the way to Church Road, so we are having a lot more traffic coming through Malone. A lot of different concerns. I've talked to lots of neighbors. We have our petition signed, and I've sent that out as well. So a lot of neighbors have a lot of concerns about this, so I appreciate y'all opening this up for us to speak and express our concerns as the community. So, thank you.
Well said. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor and Alderman Bobby Wilson, I live directly next to that property, 3.5 acres next to that property. And I've been living down at Malone Road. My wife has lived down there in the Bowie residence all of her life. And we bought in Southaven and moved back there. And Malone Road, 56 townhouses. I'm not trying to stop the progress of Southaven, but all at the same time, 56 townhouses on 9.9 acres. And when you begin to look at that, at night, my house sits on Malone, right there next to it. It's hard to even go to sleep. You come out in the morning time, I go to exercise in Southaven. It takes me 5 minutes for the cars to start to be coming up and down, up and down. And 56 townhouses, well, that's 112 people. And if they just have one child, you're talking about all kinds of traffic. And, of course, from what I heard the last time, they were talking about putting the trees to separate my property, the 3.5 acres that I own. That don't sound too good. And my other concern is, I heard you, Mr. Mayor, when you said that this will never be rental property. And I hope that be the case. But all at the same time, who is to say that someone can't buy some of the townhouses and just let people stay in there? They still would be the owner, but you just have people in there on the legal side. The owner would be the owner, but they would be there. I lived in Whitehaven for 40-some years. I know I don't look like I'm 72, but I am. But all at the same time, the Red Oak townhouses, they supposed to have been owners only. The McKellarwood townhouses, I'm sure you went down Airways, and it's a slum up there. And that's the reason why we moved down here. And if we get the same thing over there, then in my old age, I'm gonna have to try to find somewhere else or a senior citizen home. And that's my concern and the concern of everybody that live right there on Malone Road on both sides. And when you go up in Meadow Lane, they have deers up there, all of that type of thing. That's gonna take all that wildlife away. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Very,
you all.
very well said. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyone else want to speak?
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Aldermen. My name is Terry Phillips. I represent Freeman Lane over on that side. I grew up in that area from 1970 up until I moved away, but that represents my family home. We've been there since the Moose Lodge was first there, came in.
I remember the
Yeah.
Moose Lodge.
so we've been there for a while, all the way up through the changes now. And so right now, even with the park that's been in the area, there's increased traffic that's on Freeman Lane. Now, I know that there's not supposed to be any kind of access, ingress, or egress from Freeman Lane, but my concern is that that may become an access point, whereas you might want to have two particular ways of entering that particular property. And my concern is that the increase of traffic in that area, because I was there last night and I could hear traffic all through the night, whereas that used to be a peaceful area, it has now increased. And so then the second part of it is that that area used to be a high flood zone. We used to have a lot of problem with runoff water. And so with that increase, I'm concerned that there's going to, with that parking lot being there, that the runoff from the surface is going to increase in that area. So I will be, watching and looking at that as well. So that's kind of my concern, that what we're looking at from that standpoint over there. I do appreciate your time, and thank you.
Yes, sir. Well said. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. My name is Tammy Warren, and I stay in Gardner Snow Grove. My concern is when you say renters cannot occupy. When a homeowner can actually, like the other gentleman said, keep it in his name. And Wendy mentioned last week that they couldn't, the other week time we met, that they couldn't get water and stuff. Actually, they couldn't put a water bill in their name. Actually, they don't have to put the water bill in their name. They can leave it in the owner's name and still be able to live and survive there. I also know that in Horn Lake, Bailey Station, townhouse went up. You have some townhouses on Greenbrook right there that they was nice when they came in. After a while, they started to be extended stay. If you look at Bailey Station and Horn Lake, they was nice as well. But if you go there and look now, nobody wouldn't want to be around that. They even build houses to try to build that area up. They could not sell all of them houses. So they had to turn them into rental homes to get them moved. So my concern is 56 townhouse. I know you say they're going to have good value. I know you say they're going to have that. We cannot predict what will come in the future. All we can predict is what we done invested in, what we done bought into. So to bring that into that area like that, that's super, super big. That's a whole lot of every type of activity, because you never know what type of people will come. You never know. You just don't know. And so if I done invested in my home and kept it up well, I want the community to advance. I want people to be able to come and say, I like this, I want to stay here. I don't want to have to move within 3 years because everybody, done turned something into something that it was not supposed to be. And then I'm looking for somewhere else to go. So I hope you all look at that and keep that in mind about some townhouses, yes, can be very nice, can be very good. But that's not what we're saying. We just want the value to be good value. Good there that we can stay there for a while, not in 2 years because they done built something. Then I gotta move. So I just want y'all to look at the big pictures from everybody's side, that it's a win-win for everybody, that it look good for everybody, that we're still proud to be able to say, I can go here and I can stay here. thank you for
That's
listening.
well said, and I would like to address a couple of your comments, because you've raised a couple of key points that I want everybody to hear. When you mentioned like that there's no guarantee that they are not rentals, we understand that. We've done a lot of, I can tell you personally, I probably spent more time studying the rental property issue in this city than anybody in America. I can tell you, we've sat around the conference room table. The attorneys will tell you I don't like anything that they say, and then I come right back to them 3 years later and ask them, and they say, well, Mayor, you asked me that 3 years ago, and I'm asking you again because we got to do something about this. So the bottom line is federal laws prevent cities from restricting residential rental properties in a lot of ways. However, HOAs actually have more power than your local government does. So when Whitney's talking about that there's been steps taken to guarantee that these aren't rentals, that means that there's more teeth with the HOA. Like they have the ability to enforce that more so than anybody, whereas just on a regular residential house, it's not always the case. Gentleman mentioned some of the, and you too, some of the other townhomes in Horn Lake and Memphis. I'm very familiar with those, and y'all nailed it. I mean, the way you described it, that's exactly what they look like now. I can tell you that there's nobody that shares your concern more, excuse me, about bringing something in that looks great when it's new, and then fast forward 5-10 years down the road and what it looks like. We've seen that. I've been here a long time. I've watched that. I've fought against developments that have come here that I didn't think were good. And but what I'll tell you about that is these are not the same kind of townhomes that were built in Horn Lake. They're not the same thing. They're not the ones that are built in Memphis. This is a different type of townhome. But with that being said, I hear you, and I know you want it to stay nice. We want it to stay nice too. And I'll address the traffic. I mean, you know, the traffic, yeah, would this complicate traffic? Yeah, you're bringing in 56 new properties, but I would be disingenuous with the people of this city if I were here to tell you that Malone Road is going to stay like it was when you bought your house.
Exactly.
It's not, okay? It's just not. We are in demand. This county has greater demand. The same reason that you moved here is the same reason people still want to move here. We have a great city. People want to be here. The park enhancements have made that even more so. It's made the value. The gentleman that owns the property, wants the development, he's a smart guy. He didn't just go say, I'm gonna go buy me a few trees with some deer on it. He knew that property has been, the value of that has been elevated because of what's going on at the park. So I tell you all that just to say, I hear you. Some of it's not exactly the same as your other references in Horn Lake and Memphis, but we share your concern of not allowing a development that comes here that's going to bring down property values or hurt the quality of life that the existing citizens already have.
Okay, so I have one more question now one more statement. With the HOA, I know they have guidelines and stuff that they can go by, but they always does not follow the guidelines. They always does not do exactly what they say. So that would have to be looked into very good, because you can go into subdivision, they can say HOA.
Yeah.
But then they really don't stand for anything.
Yeah.
So now I have experienced, I have seen that. So, you know, you have that place right there. When you say HOA, that really has to be looked in. And the other one that I was referring to, the townhouses right there, I think that's at Greenbrook Elementary, I think on Roscoe Road. They started doing extended stay for a month. So I just want y'all to really, I'm not trying to stop growth or anything. We just want everybody to be happy.
No, I hear you, and you say it very well. But these are done. What happened on Rasco there at Greenbrook Parkway, that went through a totally different process. Whitney, would you elaborate on that a little bit, like the requirements that y'all required for this?
Oh, yeah, well, so this one, like he said, the rental issue became a huge topic nationwide. Some of the subdivisions that you're referencing, I think it's the Justice subdivision that was done in the 90s. I don't think anybody could ever have foreseen the problem with that. I think a lot of it was even encouraged to be rental just because people wanted to get in the Greenbrook Elementary subdivision area. So that has no covenants whatsoever. Property management, we have problems with them all the time. We're always consistently going over the code enforcement and things like that. So anything that comes in new, this one was mimicked off the new one that has come on Sweeney Road, but the attorneys have written up the HOA covenants, and we have not approved them. They're still being heavily tweaked at the moment. But they've got teeth in them to actually place liens on people's properties, which means that the property owner could not sell it in the event that they went into a rental agreement with somebody. like I said, we can monitor it through the water bills that the HOA has required, that they stay in the owner's name and they cannot transfer to somebody else unless there's a quick claim deed or warranty deed that's transferred over. So they're looking into that. I mean, I'm sure there's always loopholes, unfortunately. The city, from our side, if we can get confirmation that something happens like that, we can address it with the property management company, with the HOAs, and I mean, we can make it difficult on them as well. So that's kind of where we stand with this one. There's a lot of differences. I mean, you just have to learn by the mistakes of the past. I mean, we see strip centers and bad housing developments all over the place, like you referenced. Unfortunately, we can't go back to the 90s and change it. All we can do is take those errors and try to build off of that. So that's kind of what we try to do. So.
Right.
Yeah, but well said, and I just want you to, before you go sit down, I want you to know that you and I are on the same team. I'm hearing what you're saying.
Okay.
I don't want anything. I don't want another, and you can go back and watch former meetings here. I don't want any house or any structure built that's going to bring down the quality of life we have here. And so I'm on your team, and I'm listening to you, and you said it very well, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak?
I do have a follow-up question. So can we get the name of the developer, and have they ever did any development in this area?
Yes, sir, we can get you his information, so you're welcome to contact him. It's public record, and he will be here, and he will all speak. We'll speak with all of them as well, but his family has done several developments here. They kind of focus more so on commercial, but that gentleman specifically, Mr. Utley Jr., did some development down on Sweeney Road between Church and Star Landing, some houses over there. I can kind of get you a list of some other stuff. I know they've done several things in the county, but the only thing I've really addressed with them is some commercial properties. They actually owned or had rights to where the Tanger is, that portion of property over there. So, but yeah, I'll be more than happy to give you his information. So.
Okay, well, we'll move on this evening. We're about to close the hearing, but before we do, I want to thank y'all again for speaking. It's been very beneficial. The board has listened to y'all. They've heard you. I've heard you. So y'all have done a good job expressing your concerns. So we'll keep working on that, and then we will have another hearing. So it had to be on the. Will it be on the 1st?
Y'all can make a date tonight, continue the hearing to a certain date if you want to.
It'd be better to do it on the 15th of April.
I agree.
Yeah.
So you would table this until April 15th. You would table this hearing with more opportunity to have hear from others April 15th.
Okay. All right. So let's first of all let's close the public hearing. Is there a motion to close it?
Second.
We got a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Jerome. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it. Motion carries. The hearing is now closed. And so earlier, Alderman Wheeler made a motion.
Do we need to make a motion to
If you'll let me, I'm about.
approve it first?
Huh? No, well, he made a motion to table it. So yeah, hang on with me just a second. So he made a motion to table it. So if y'all are in agreement with tabling it, would you also make a motion, a joint motion to make a second hearing on April 15th? Yes. Okay, so we have a motion by Alderman Wheeler. Can we do them both?
Yeah.
City Attorney?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion by Alderman Wheeler to table this discussion and then have another hearing on April 15th. So is there a second for that?
Second.
Just continue the hearing.
Continued here. So we have a second by Alderman Flores. So does that answer, is that what you're talking about?
Not really. No.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
When you don't make a motion on something that's on the agenda, it usually dies on the agenda. So I was thinking that somebody needs to make the motion to approve it, and then it's tabled to, am I right?
Well, we're not approving it. We're
Not approved.
Well, I know, but you make I thought items that were on the agenda, if there's not a motion to bring it forward, then it dies on the agenda.
He's making a motion to table the discussion.
Yeah, the table's a motion.
Okay.
okay.
I think what motion would be to table and continue the hearing for further information to the April 15th meeting. That way you're not approving, you're not denying, you're wanting more information and have more discussion on the 15th and also what we're going to see if they want to.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think we may be getting, because we have done that in what you're talking about.
Like you don't make a motion on it, it just dies on the agenda.
Right, but I think that we're probably getting a little bit too much into parliamentary. I don't know that we need that much detail in our parliamentary procedure, or unless our attorney. But I was never in student council, so I didn't do stuff like that. He's saying that you have to, before you table it, you have to make a motion to bring it forward, and then.
But we're not bringing it forward the table from the agenda. I think if we made a motion tonight to continue this, the table discussion, and continue the hearing like the April 15th meeting will be fine.
Okay.
There is that.
Yes.
Then we have there's no motion to deny, there's no motion to approve, and so the motion, the issue continues, and you table it until you solve the cover basis.
Do we have to
re-advertise or anything?
No, because we advertised it at tonight's hearing, and so since we made the motion to hold it tonight, you're not creating another hearing, you're continuing a new hearing, you're continuing the same hearing.
Okay, good question. Thank you for that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hood.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Okay, and that motion carries, and that wraps up our planning agenda. Next on our agenda is our mayor's report. First of all, y'all know that we've had an architect designing the former Fred's building for a court renovation, and that information is about ready. So just to help us move that project along, I'm asking for y'all to authorize the bidding process for that.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Jerome. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hood.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. And the only other thing I want to update you about tonight is Memphis in May has reached out to us regarding our Springfest barbecue contest. They just want to feel no contract. They just want to have an agreement with us that helps promote their event also. Obviously, Memphis in May is the biggest barbecue event in this area, so it's good for us to be affiliated with them. We have an expert in the room that's. Have you ever cooked there? Won championships there, haven't you? Yeah. So anyway, all they're asking us to do is they want to do a special thing to help us promote our cooking contest as well, where they give incentives. So whoever is the grand champion of ours gets a financial incentive with them. We're not giving an incentive; they're giving it, but it's just an agreement. They asked for us to formally express that agreement. So I'm just asking for somebody to agree to that
I'll
tonight.
make that motion.
Okay,
I'll
got
second it.
Got a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Flores. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, and that's really all I have to update on the mayor's report this evening. Next on our agenda is our personnel docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the personnel docket as presented on the state.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hood.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is our city attorney's legal update.
Everything I have is on the
Okay, moving on. Next on our agenda is our utilities billing leak adjustment docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the utility bill leak adjustment docket as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hood.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Okay, next on our agenda are two claims dockets.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve docket number 1 in the amount of $2,764,144.06, including demand checks.
Second.
On docket 1, we have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hood.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Okay, and on docket 1, that carries. Now is there a motion to approve docket 2?
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve docket number 2 in the amount of $41,767.96.
Second.
On docket 2, we have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda, we have the purpose of determining the need for executive session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it. The needs this evening are potential and ongoing litigation by and against the city involving our fire department and police departments, economic development within the city, and interdepartmental personnel with no action. Is there a motion to declare executive session?
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Jerome. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The mayor and board are now in our executive session.